Women's parliamentary caucuses play a vital role in promoting gender equality and women's empowerment within parliaments and beyond. They act as cross-party platforms for female parliamentarians to collaborate, share experiences, and advocate for policies that address women's issues and advance gender equality. It is against this background that the chairperson of the Zambian Women Parliamentary Caucus, Ms. Chushi Kasanda, extended an invitation to the KwaZulu-Natal Multi-Party Women Caucus to undertake a benchmarking visit to Zambia. The delegation from KwaZulu-Natal, which was led by Honorable Celiwe Madlopha MP, chairperson of the KwaZulu-Natal Multi-Party Women's Caucus, paid a courtesy call on the first Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of Zambia, Honorable Malungwa Chisangano, before interacting with some Zambian female members of Parliament. In her opening remarks, Madam Chisangano discussed the significance of the benchmarking visit by the KwaZulu-Natal Women Caucus.
Honorable Chairperson, I should hasten to mention that the benchmarking visit to the Zambian Women Parliamentary Caucus is significant as women play an important role in every aspect of society. Women parliamentarians caucuses provide women parliamentarians a platform to struggle collectively for their own rights, as well as bring more business pertaining to women issues to the National Assembly debates.
The first Deputy Speaker bemoaned the low number of women MPs in the Zambian Parliament, but was quick to point out a myriad of measures being put in place to bridge the gap.
Allow me to briefly highlight some of the initiatives the National Assembly of Zambia has put in place to promote gender equality. The revision of the 2024 National Assembly of Zambia Standing Orders, specifically Standing Order number 61, that provides for the first and second deputy speakers to be elected from different political parties and must be of different gender. The other one is the Standing Orders 179-2 provides for each committee to ensure that the committee chairperson or vice chairperson are of opposite sex. In addition, Standing Orders 179-8 provides that unless it is practically impossible, the Speaker shall ensure that at least 20% of committee chairpersons are female. And a committee on women parliamentarians has been established. However, this will only come into effect after the 2026 general elections during the 14th National Assembly. Then the National Assembly of Zambia is in the process of opening up a creche for parliamentarians and staff in order to foster a family-friendly work atmosphere, especially for women.
And chairperson of the KwaZulu-Natal Multi-Party Women's Caucus, Honorable Celiwe Madlopha, talked about the role of the Committee on Multi-Party Women's Caucus based in South Africa.
The women emancipation is not only, the work of the women. Everybody must come. It's a societal matter to emancipate women. Hence, we are having even the partnership, as you see Dr. Paul here, you see our young son here with us, because we believe that the challenges of women is not only going to be achieved by us as women alone, but the responsibility of us as a women's caucus in KwaZulu-Natal, it was established, empowered by Rule 210 in 21st of November 2024 in this 7th Parliament. Not that we were starting to have a women's, we are meaning this current women's caucus we are talking about. The functions and powers of the Multi-Party Women's Caucus as per the rule is that the Multi-Party Women's Caucus acts as an advisory, influencing and consultative body by representing the interests and concerns of women members of the legislature, as well as in the society. We also promote the discussions of women issues in the legislature.
The Democracy Development Program, DDP, works with various women caucuses in the SADC region. It encourages active citizen engagement in political and development processes.
As an organization, we've been in existence for the last 30 years. Our work has been apolitical, but we work with all political parties, a multi-party approach to our work. And this initiative is one of the 8 programs that we have in our organization. It was not a hard thing to think about how far we could take this work, aside from working with the Multi-Party Women Caucus, because it fits what we do. And our initiative was promoted by the statistics that have been mentioned. We've been observing over those 3 decades a declining number of women participation in politics and representation. And so with our efforts to try to solve that problem, we decided that we're going to take our work further than just working with women in communities or other structures. We work directly with the legislatures who actually enforce law and make up laws that enhance that women uptake. The other aspect of it was also to bring members of parliament, women members of parliament, closer to these communities that we work with, so that young ladies and young girls who want to take politics as a career can meet real members of parliament at a very close range, and they'll be able to hear the stories and their experiences to, motivate them to take that challenge, because it's important. Sometimes from our research, we discovered that most of young women and ladies who would like to take politics as a career always sit back with fear, because what politics has been presented to them is like a scary thing.
Given the fact that we realized how important women participation in politics is, and also how crucial it is for them to be given the support that they need. So our support has not just been financial, it has also been technical. We have been supporting them in terms of capacity building. What we did with them is obviously we did a needs assessment in terms of asking them what kind of capacity building initiatives do they want from us. And from there, we've been tailor-making some programs and workshops and trainings for them that we have done with them for quite a number of time. Moving on from there, from the different capacity building meetings that we did with them, we then also ventured into trying to do these benchmarking visits. We did our first benchmarking visit in Zimbabwe, where we went with the steering committee of the KZN caucus meeting in Zimbabwe. They did share notes with their colleagues and identified key challenges and the best practices that they can do together to ensure that they can address the different challenges that they are facing in their countries. They also met with different donor organizations in Zimbabwe that are working on women's issues. Did some different tours to, I think one of them was the one that assists women who are being abused and raped. It was Msasa project. They went to see their facilities, and them coming from a province that is also very much high on abuse of women and gender-based violence. They did take some notes, and they are in the process of trying to implement some of the strategies to address GBV in the province.
The first Deputy Speaker, Honorable Malungwa Chisangano, was impressed with the work that the Democracy Development Program is doing on the continent and urged them to forge ahead for the betterment of women participation in decision-making.
I take note that you are interested in strengthening the interparliamentary collaboration and knowledge sharing between the KwaZulu-Natal National Women's Caucus and the Zambian Women Parliamentary Caucus. I think you are doing a good job. I was impressed with some of the activities that you mentioned, like working with councillors, and then the capacity building program that you mentioned, not forgetting the gender-sensitive budgeting. I think it's something that we can learn from you.
Parliamentarians then had a roundtable discussion where they shared experiences, challenges they faced in the execution of duty, and did chart their way forward.
As Zambia prepares for the 2026 general elections, the benchmarking visit is timely. It gives us an opportunity to reflect on how we as women parliamentarians can position ourselves to increase women participation, both as voters and as elected leaders. Further, it allows us to critically examine the tools, strategies, and platforms we are using to advance gender equality and transform our legislative and oversight roles into real and tangible change for the women and the girl we represent.
As the Zambian Women Parliamentary Caucus, we have been very, very, very committed to making sure that, we do not depend on just of someone who is, women, even if it's 10, even if we are committed to make sure that we can legislate so that at the end of it all, we should have a number that is coming to Parliament for women. And on this, as you have heard, maybe our caucus is across political affiliation, and if there is anything that brings us together and us being able to stand is exactly that issue of making sure that we can legislate and we can have as many women into Parliament as we can. So we remain very, very, very committed to making sure that we leave it in history that during this parliamentary sitting these women were able to achieve this.
As Africans, we come from a patriarchal society where the men, regardless of who they are, they've just refused to give the opportunity to the women. A woman, when we go out in their constituencies, the people out there, they expect 6 times than what they expect from the men. A man, even if he can't present issues, but he's a man, he's regarded as a leader. But us, you have to prove yourself. Like right now, us who are already in Parliament, we have already a challenge for next year. You have to prove yourself. What have you done the past 5 years? They'll ask you a lot of questions. For us, the women, they will look at the way you look, the way you speak, the way you greet. But for men, it's not an issue. So these are the issues that we are going through as women in Zambia. And also I know that you discussed them, the issue of the economical capacities. Most of the women, we don't have resources to stand up because politics currently is very expensive. Like I said, that people expect a lot from us.
The challenges faced by parliaments in the region are similar. Hence, the female members of parliament have called for concerted efforts to address the challenges.
The interaction has been quite insightful in that a lot of issues, according to their report, they have been brought out, looking at what can be done and the various challenges which women face in politics and in leadership positions.
So one of the things that I've learned here is realizing that in KwaZulu-Natal, they had 50-50 when it comes to women. But then, because this was not legislated, with the drop in ANC of the numbers, that also has included the drop in women to currently 23%. That also speaks to the reason why, as women, have been saying we need to make sure that everything that has to do with women representation is legislated. That will present us such a situation, and also just making sure that whatever happens, whichever party is there, the women representation will remain intact.
We are saying we are going to exchange these programs and also have a follow-up. Like we are saying that DDP always host the conferences in the towards the end of the year. So we think that Zambia will be part of us, because this thing of meeting them and never come together with all those countries that we have visited in the SADC is not going to assist us, because we must benchmark to say that we have visited you, this is what we say we're doing, we set these challenges, what is the way forward in those challenges that we have identified, not leave them alone. Okay. So this is what is important, and we appreciate the warm welcome that we have received here, the hospitality that we have received. Zambia is our country.
And the all-weather partner Democracy Development Program is optimistic about the future regarding women participation in politics.
Going forward, we continue to mobilize more resources so that we can get to many countries within the SADC and beyond. And we see that this intervention is going to create even more impetus even within the SADC Parliamentary Forum, which is the umbrella body that brings these women caucuses from SADC together. And the partnership between the DDP and the SADC PF is growing from strength to strength, and we hope that eventually we will see that vision coming to fruition.
The interaction between Zambia Women Parliamentary Caucus and KwaZulu-Natal Women's Caucus has strengthened inter-parliamentary collaboration and knowledge sharing between the two caucuses.